So, hello everyone, and welcome to the Iliad webinar series. Today we are going to talk about a marketplace for digital twins and ocean models with user feedback service as an add-on. My name is Bente Lilja Bye. I'm going to be your host as usual. And with us today we have two speakers, Keeble from Blue Lobster and Alaitz Zabala from the Autonomous University of Barcelona. As usual, also, we are going to ask you to be very engaged. Please ask questions and comment in the chat while the speakers are presenting. And you will also be offered a poll during the presentation. And we ask you to answer this poll as well. And we will use the results as part of the initiation of the discussion we will have after the two presentations. Today is very special, actually, because we are launching the Iliad Marketplace. So we hope that you are as curious as we are, some of us. We haven't seen all yet, Sai, so this will be exciting. And for those of you who know me, at least you know that I'm a sucker for user feedback, and I'm very pleased to have Alaitz here to introduce us to a user feedback service. So with that, I think we can start, and I will start with showing you the program and introduction to Iliad. So bear with me a few seconds. And I will share my screen, and I will get it to show you the slides. So the program is very simple, as I said. We will introduce you first to Iliad, then we will have the launch of the Iliad Marketplace, and we will dive deeper into the Geospatial user feedback service and have a discussion. So I start to introduce Iliad, and actually the first thing I will do is to remind us what a digital twin is. You might have seen several definitions. You see here on the right-hand side, you see the ISO, a standardization body, coming with a general definition of what a digital twin is. What we can say very simply is that a digital twin is a digital replication of the physical reality. A twin is also defined then to interact and go and be updated with reality in this term, in this sense, data and information. The environmental digital twin has been defined by the UN Ditto, so the UN Ocean Decade program for digital twins of the ocean. But it is a little bit more complex than that, and this is what Iliad is addressing. So our twin, the digital twin of the ocean, will answer what now, what next, and what if. Moreover, since the ocean is complex and the activities we do are also complex, we can also ask additional questions. Well, first of all, what happened in the past? So the historical data can inform us in a digital twin and be continuously updated as we get more historical data. And what else? I mean, what else is happening around our digital twin of the ocean? We have policies, we have economics, we have statistics of disasters, etc., etc. And all of this is encompassed in what we call a digital twin of the ocean in Iliad. Acknowledging this, so the Iliad approach and concept is based on this complexity and complex understanding of the ocean is vast and also consists of different components, biological, geophysical, and importantly, the interaction between all of this, including human activities. You might have heard about the European digital twin of the ocean. In fact, the European digital twin of the ocean consists of multiple twins. It's a whole ecosystem now of twins, and various components that goes into it. So Iliad is a member, an important member of this ecosystem that we call the European Digital Twin. And as a member of this ecosystem, we do our best to align with the other members, and we are using technologies, standards, best practices, etc. And we are making efforts to interoperate with the rest of the community. So Iliad in a seashell is that we are enabling an ecosystem of interoperable digital twins, and we are doing that through connecting existing resources. But Iliad is also adding resources. We have sensors and are creating new data. An important component is citizen science. Both citizen science data and also methodology is a part of Iliad. And we are making this available for the community through a marketplace, which is the topic of today. And all this together, we are part of creating solutions to the general societal challenges that we are all facing. So we are talking about twins. You have noted that, I'm sure. And we have divided the twins into thematic and local twins. The thematic twins is then also divided into, in our case, 12 different types or themes range, and you see it's a wide range of areas. So from harbor safety to fisheries, aquaculture, renewable energy, etc. So we have many different thematic twins. And here you see a picture of that data is in the middle of it all. The reason why we are talking about digital twins so much now, the concept itself is not new, but because we have so much more data available to us now, coming with the technology that enables us to transform this data into information and services, that's why we are talking so much about digital twins. And here you see an overview of the different types. We are combining in Iliad both open data and commercial data, and we are based on a federated interoperable system of all these resources. In order to facilitate all this, we also focus on innovation. So we have a so-called innovation booster. It consists of an Iliad Academy, because capacity development is super important for to make use of both the data and the technology. We have a business facility, we have a policy impact facility, and of course, a marketplace. And that is what Sai will introduce us to shortly. Just a brief summary of numbers. Iliad is a Green Deal Horizon 2020 project. We are 56 partners, and the budget is close to 19 million euros. So it's a huge investment that we are embarking on. So Sai Keeble is a software engineer, and he will introduce you, as I told you, to the marketplace. Is our lead on that. He is the director of Blue Lobster, and which is specializing in development of complex data and application solutions for the environmental science sector. Blue Lobster has been active in several other Horizon projects and has an impressive experience in the field. So with that, Sai, I give the floor to you, and we will have the launch of the Iliad Marketplace.
Thank you very much, Bente. And I make no apologies for repeating a couple of important points so that I can give you the context of where the marketplace sits. And then I'm going to show you through the marketplace and what it looks like, and how we consider it to be open and available, but open meaning that others can contribute to it. It's not just an Iliad product. So Iliad consists of a number of things that Bente's talked about before, but the key points here are the technology layers, so all the different metadata services, the APIs, the service layers, model integration, and all those kinds of things, so that we think of that as the technology. So then we have the business side of things, which is the Business Innovation Forum, Blue Growth Hub, support services, networks, etc., and the innovation booster that Bente has discussed before. Then we have the educational side of it in terms of the academy, educational resources, videos, training materials, webinars. We're in a webinar now that comes under that umbrella, and summer schools and other activities for education. And then we have the kind of marketplace, branding, outreach activities, where we have what we've termed in our original proposal for the project, and it's exactly that now, is an app store for the discovery of digital twins, the models, related products and services, and that includes data, training materials, technology, documentation, models, scripts. I'm trying to think of some other things, containers, if containers have been built and they're useful elsewhere, sensor technologies and things like that as well. So the marketplace is not just for digital twins in their whole entirety, but they're the components of twins, whether that be an educational material or a documentation, piece of data, or those kinds of things as well. So I'm going to share my screen now, if I can find the button. There we go. And I'm going to show you the marketplace. Hopefully you've seen our website. It was updated a little while ago. So we've not rebranded as such, but our brand has evolved. And we have lots of things on our website now about the pilots, marketplace, and Twin Labs, which I'll explain in a moment. But I'd like to dive quickly into the marketplace. Just because it's very bright for me, we do have a little button here that makes it dark mode, so you can switch into dark mode, and I hope you won't mind if I use dark mode. It's better for my eyes. So when you land in the marketplace, we have a number of features there. So right at the top, this is like a revolving feature. At the moment, there's 3 or 4 products that we can highlight. So when we have new products come into the marketplace, we can highlight those. If I refresh that, that's a GeoMachine tool. If I refresh that, it'll pick something else that's worthy of highlighting at the moment. If I click on that, instead, it will take me to one of those products. The marketplace, if you've used Apple Store, Google Play, I'm sure you've used something like that for a mobile phone. It's very, very similar. So we have themes in an app store. This might be games or things like that. But for us, in our environmental capacity, these themes for us at the moment, they're set to maps, environment, research, renewables, blue economy, physics. We can add more, we can change those around, but these are things that we want to think about at the moment. And by clicking on one of these themes, it actually selects here. So if I click on maps, it will select me products that are related to maps. It'll actually highlight that, and then you can see some of these maps that are on there. And again, we also have featured sections so that we can add things that are particularly new or innovative at the time. I'm going to show you a product so you can see what a product looks like in there while we're on maps. I'm not going to apologise for showing you GeoMachine, because my company also built this, and it's a front end for models and digital twins. So you can see that each product can have its own place in the marketplace. So you can think of this like a mini website, if you like. So your URL at the top, if you look up here, is marketplace/product/GeoMachine. And when you create a product, you can choose what the name of that will be, and you can apply SEO information to it as well, so that Google can find it easily. So I've set this one up for GeoMachine. I've got an overview of what this product is. I've got the details of it. I can also add pricing information. I can have another tab for terms and conditions, and I'll show you where those can be set up in a minute. Some additional information, what it is. It's a web application, software as a service, APIs, data sets, etc. What themes it sits under, how I can contact someone. Really important for me is this call to action, because this is a marketplace. I want to attract customers to me. So if I click on that, that will actually, it will check that I'm okay to go outside of this, and then it will take me to GeoMachine, and then I can look at and interact with that platform. And as a product owner, I get a lot of information about how that interaction you just saw has happened, but I'll show you that in a minute. I can add screenshots, we can add videos and all sorts of things, just as you would in a normal app store, or a sort of enhanced visualization app store. So I can then see, I can give information about the dashboards that are involved in GeoMachine, layer customizations and things like that. And I can give people a taste of what that's about. I can also list parameters if it's particularly relevant. I've added a few here. I can hover over them and you can see it will tell me what those parameters are. I'm probably not so worried about the parameters. We can put most parameters in GeoMachine. It's not necessarily so relevant, but certainly if you've got a data product or a specific model that is looking at specific parameters or work in that environment, then parameters are perhaps more interesting. Alaitz is going to show you something about feedback in a little while, but we also have a feedback mechanism here, and I'm going to call this a test, but as a registered user, I can give feedback on any product. This feedback at the moment isn't public, but the person who owns the product can see this information, and I'm going to add a test comment in there. I can say that I'm super happy with it. I can click submit, and then that goes to the product owner. So that's quite nice. I'm going to show you a couple of other products quickly, if I may. So let's just go to another screen for a moment. I'm going to show you how we can relate products together. I think we've got environmental monitoring. So this one. So for example, if you have a model, or say you've got a whole twin, and you can also add individual products for the documentation that goes with the twin, or you can add it there as well if you want it in that product as well. But you could add the data that goes with it, the documentation, the training materials. So these can all be related. So when I add a product, I can also add in associated products with that as well. So this is quite interesting if you have a model and you want people to see the component parts of that, and then I can obviously jump into them. I will just show you something else in the marketplace, which is quite nice. We have this concept of marketplace products and laboratory products. Now, for all of us, they're exactly the same. The only difference is that we recognize that when you produce a new product, service, or tool, it can be a long time from ideation or the idea of building something to the delivery of something in a production environment. So you can create a product in the marketplace and just tag it as a laboratory product. Okay, and that just means that it's very obvious in here that this is something that's in development. So there's very little difference other than it says it's a laboratory product. There's a highlight over here, and you can contact the people that are working on that product and interact with them. So it gives you a place right at the start of building a product to host it somewhere in its own little web presence and work with it. It will also be listed in what we call our Twin Lab here. And this Twin Lab is just all of the laboratory products and what they're trying to do. So if you just want to look at things that are in development, you can go there and have a look at them. So I encourage you to register on this website. Obviously, we want people to register and use it. But I really want the message to get out there that this is not, this is Iliad is managing this, but this is a product for anybody to put their products in, a marketplace for anybody to put their products in. So if you have a product or service, whether it's Iliad related or not, it doesn't matter. If it's a digital twin, model related, in our sphere, then you're welcome to add your products into the marketplace. You can register on there and it's very easy to add a product in. I'll just show you what that looks like, but I won't go through creating the product now because there's plenty of help. But if I clicked on create a product, I can choose whether it's a laboratory or marketplace. If I add it as a laboratory and later on I decide to put it into the marketplace, I can. It's a very quick change. I've got very comprehensive help that takes you every step of the way through your product, how to set it up, what all the different features mean. I can, with a little bit of experience, I can probably set a simple product up in less than 5 minutes and have something in the marketplace. But to add extra images and make this fully featured and aesthetically pleasing, it can take a little bit longer. But there's guides of how to create the icons that you need, but there's also some default ones that you can use before you've created your icon if you like. And lots of other information about how to publish a product, how to unpublish it and things like that. So it's very straightforward to set up. If I just quickly go into a product that I've already created, let's go to, again, I'll just use this GeoMachine because I know it. I can share with other people. So if I have a partner that I'm working with on this, I can add them to this product and they can also edit it. So you don't have to do it all on your own. You can share it, you can unshare it. And if I'm adding a product, this is one that we saw, I can change name, I can put a name in there, short descriptions, long descriptions, pricing information. I can add long text, short text. These are cover images, icon images. We've got metadata information for search engines. So this is what will appear in the search engine results that shows what that information contains. If you want, you can add contact information. And then it's like a wizard. So you can just step through the 4 processes until you get to the end if you want. I can add lots of screenshots. I can add files. We do request that you don't add kind of executable files there. This is more for bits of data, PDFs and things like that. But we have to be fairly robust in ensuring that nobody is putting virus files on our platform. So do be careful with that. And associated products, I can just type a search in there and it'll find me other products that I can add to relate to it. So that's a very straightforward thing to do. And then I can update it when I'm done. I can go to the next step actually, and that'll give me a preview so I can see what it will look like. I can update it because this is already published. I can unpublish it, which means it takes it off the website, doesn't delete it. I can delete it, but I have to unpublish it first. But all of those rules are in the help. So I'm going to abandon that one for now because I don't want to make any particular change to that right now. But I will show you some of the statistics that we can get from this. So in my dashboard, I've got a few products that are assigned to me. But let's have a look. Let's go back to the beginning of January this year to where we are today. So I can select a date range. And that will give me some information about the number of views, whether it's generally increasing or decreasing, number of people that have clicked through to my call to action. In this case, it's actually going to the GeoMachine product, how long people are on the website. The green line there will show me the most product views I had. Blue is the product views and red are the people that are the click-throughs that I've had. So I can get some indication of the performance. I can also see where these things are coming from. And who's clicking through. So that gives us a really useful bit of information. And one of the other things that I have set up on here, which is a free utility that we have, is I have monitors set up. So each product can have a monitor. Now this works only if you have like a pingable resource, which you can find out some information about that in the help. But what that means to me here is that it runs a health check. I've only got it running over 24 hours and it just tells me my service is constantly available and it checks periodically and what the average response time is. At the moment, I've got it set up to 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, it does a call to that service to make sure it's available. But this is quite useful for overall statistics. And then as an administrator, so you're aware of what we see, I also have some other information about our marketplace activity. We've launched this very recently, so we're not huge amounts of numbers here, but this will give me statistics across all of the products that are there, what's going on, and then I can also look at market feedback, so I can see feedback across. These are obviously I use GeoMachine by test platform. But you can see I added that one a minute ago and it gives me an idea of how I feel about certain things. And this is useful for us to understand how the marketplace is working or whether there's a product in the marketplace that's having some issues. And we can look at those over different months and periods. We also get a view over what the most popular products are and things like that. And that just helps us to understand our marketplace better. Rather than we're not judging anybody here. And then when you actually submit your product the first time, it does undergo a human review. This just prevents us from allowing people in there without or adding products without being checked through. So I get an email when a new product gets added so that I can have a quick view. And we're not going through super quality here. It's just to make sure that there's nothing unwelcome happening on the platform. So I'm going to stop at that point. I can see that a survey has been issued. Thank you, Katja and Bente. And I will pause now for, I'm not sure if we take questions or if we're moving on, but perhaps Bente could advise at that point.
Yes, thank you very much, Sai. I did, in fact, publish a poll to see if there are some, to get the feedback from the audience here. So I will end the poll, and then I will share the results with you. Because we asked, are you using a marketplace or an online catalog today? And there are nobody who is using that for finding ocean data, products and services, meaning there's a niche, Sai. People do use catalogs to find other stuff. And they are also using a marketplace for offering data, services, and products, etc. And some not yet, but they are interested, and plain known also. So yeah, it's yes, to some familiarity to use the platform, and also to or to a marketplace, sorry, and to also to be interested. So thank you for participating, and we will be moving on. Let me see. I think we. So, Sai, did you want to say more about the marketplace after Alaitz, perhaps, or did you? What was your plan?
No, nothing specific. I think the main thing for us is to encourage people to come in and put their products and services in our marketplace, and to work with us to grow this marketplace into a place that people come to find things and build networks.
Okay, so we can talk more about that after Alaitz has presented us to geospatial user feedback, and I will like to introduce Alaitz, and just hold on. Let me see here. Yes, so Alaitz Zabala, she is a researcher at the Department of Geography at the Autonomous University of Barcelona. She has a degree in geography and very much interested in metadata, geographical data, geographical information standards and quality and user feedback. So, and she has an extensive experience in other EU projects. I have had the pleasure of working with her in Next.js, and she is also actively participating to development of standards, such as in OGC. So with that, Alaitz, we are looking forward to learn more about the geospatial user feedback mechanism.
Thank you very much, Bente, for your presentation and for the webinar for today. And now I'm sharing my presentation. As Bente has said, I'm going to explain a little bit one of the components of the marketplace, so the Geospatial User Feedback Service, and try to explain how it could be useful for you if you are developing or using one digital of the ocean, DTO. So I am going to cover more or less this list of topics. No? First of all, I will briefly explain what Nimbus, our implementation for user feedback, is. And then I will also give 2 cents about what general user feedback is, and then about what a specific geospatial user feedback is. So see the first word difference in here. Then I will try to, as I was saying, show what having geospatial user feedback can bring to data providers or to data users in a marketplace or in any digital twin or any platform. And I will briefly comment on the components of the system and how it works. And then, as I was saying, try to explain how this could be useful. And at the end, very briefly, not going into the technical details, but explain how this could be done in case you are interested. And for you to see how it works, I will show you a couple of examples, one that is already out there and one that could be that is more related to Iliad. So about Nimbus, in here, Nimbus is an implementation. It's a specific software component that it's gathering geospatial user feedback. I will go to that later. That is an OGC standard. So at the end, it allows people to comment and rate for several products, but also to give more elaborated user feedback, such as usage reports or publications or other stuff that I will go into detail later. Now, as Sai was explaining, it's a marketplace component. It's one element that you can find there because you can connect this component to any platform or digital twin that you are developing. The Nimbus itself, then it's a geospatial user service and a client that you can use, as I will show you. You have the links in here, but as I was saying, it's just marketplace products and then Nimbus, or this is our main nimbus.cat, our main page. But usually you don't get to go into the system through this, but integrated in another platform, as also I will show you. Talking about general user feedback, when we think about giving feedback about anything, for example, super common example here, the big screenshot, it's about Amazon products. Feedback means that a user that has worked or has bought, in this case, one product, can comment about what the feelings or how this product was working. It was okay, it wasn't okay. And it has a few or several information, such as usually ratings and comments, but also sometimes you can give even feedback about a feedback or a little bit more information. That's a more complex user feedback, but sometimes it's as easy as in the airport, just a happy or a not that happy face for you giving feedback. At the end, we want to gather information about what the user is thinking about that product. If we go a little bit more into a geospatial example, because that's what this is about. In this case, the idea is that the feedback that someone can give, it's more specific. For example, because it can identify one certain area in which a problem appears. So the feedback would contain this spatial description. Or it will also contain some information about what a specific product the user has been doing with this image you are seeing in here. No? At the end, this first user is working with this image, is getting some comments, and then goes to the portal and publish this information. So someone else, a second user, B, can get the comments or the explanations that the first user has done, thanks to the integration of the system. As Bente was saying, Iliad and the existence of several digital twins means that we are trying to be as interoperable as possible. And user feedback is it's a standard. It's a OGC standard since 2017. And mainly allows you, as I was saying, to describe user feedback about a specific geospatial resources, so where that happens. And it also identifies who is giving the feedback and what feedback contains. So what are those elements? No? And in fact, the standard what defines is the concept. The main standard defines a conceptual model in which the specific fields that make sense to give feedback about geospatial data or service are explained. So for example, you can describe what you have done with a certain resource or image, as I was saying before. You can explain what publications you have done with this resource, or if you have, for example, additional lineage information or quality information because you have been maybe assessing that data set with new field trip, for example, field information, for example. Just for you to have the references, as I was saying, the two, currently there are two standards published, a conceptual model, and also an XML implementation. But we are working in OGC standard group for creating a new version of these two standards, as well as creating a new OGC API and a JSON encoding that is related. Again, here you can find below the official website for the geospatial user feedback for the GUF within the OGC website. if we are thinking about you are a data provider, you are using a marketplace to offer your services or your products, how Goof can help you. In one way, because it will be a way for you to listen to your users' needs, and then, if needed, of course, to reply to them, because you can read the comments that the users have give to your products, and then you can answer them. No, here just the UML box, but for you to see that several feedback items or several comments may have different motivations, questions, answers, justifications. So that's a way of creating a network of feedback items if needed, in a way that you can just engage with your users. Not only that, as also Sai was commenting in here, for example, it's interesting for you to see which are the best products or the products that people are liking the most or the less, and then giving or seeing the ratings for all the products you may have. It's also useful information for you as a data provider. Finally, some more elaborated feedback that the users can provide. It's about the usage of the resources. So someone can explain what he or she has done with a certain data set when he was working with that. And for example, if he found specific limitations or what and which response she or he gives to these limitations. So again, a way for getting interesting information in how to, for example, improve your products. If you are on the other side of the equation, let's say you are a data user just browsing the marketplace or any other DTO or portal in order to look for products, what you will get from other users' feedback. Because you, again, besides getting comments and general user descriptions, you will have to look or will be happy to understand if someone have found problems, issues with this certain resource, and maybe if they have found a specific workaround, because that can be a solution for you as well as a user. Or, for example, some users can maybe create scientific publications using a certain data set. So having a look to that as other users also can give you information about how to work with this data set or how this data set was evaluated and similar information. So as I was showing, here is the main structure of how everything works. The idea is that you may have one portal, such I get a couple of examples from the marketplace, so the jellyfish forecast or the golden ray habitat suitability index geo portal. And in these two cases, we have a platform or a DTO or whatever resource in which you may have several products. So certain user is browsing this portal or this DTO and decides that he can provide feedback for a certain data set. This information then at the end, if it's correctly connected, of course, it goes to a feedback storage service. And that means that, in fact, if not a single user is creating feedback, the whole community is creating feedback. At the end, some knowledge is created because so many views on a certain resource are being promoted or are being collected. And finally, this knowledge is not only created, but also shared, because it can go back to the portal and someone else will be looking at it. And that's the last slide of this part, in which whatever second, third, or any other user going to the platform, it will get this summary of feedbacks about a certain resource. That means that she, in this case, will be able to do a better browsing of the resources in the DTO, or it will probably gain some knowledge about what this data set can be used for, and the drawbacks or the advantages of this data set, and so on. How it works, I'm not going technically inside, but just giving you a couple of clues. If you have a portal, you need to identify it. As long as you have a single identifier for each resource, that's enough, because the idea is that when you will connect this Geospatial or Nimbus system in your geo portal, then any user can go into the Geospatial user feedback service, and after logging in, he or she can provide feedback that goes to through the API and it's stored in the Nimbus system. And then the other way around, when someone is looking at a certain resource, then a summary of the previous feedback items created are available with a simple visualization, and then that person can get some more knowledge about the user's perspective on this data set. To start finishing, would be Nimbus a good component for you? Well, I have a simple 3 questions for you. Are you developing a DTO or a geo platform that has several resources on it? Also, you would like to promote engaging with users and trying to increase the usefulness of them in your platform or DTO, then my suggestion is that you should or could include the Geospatial user feedback system into your portal. And that's going to this is going to take so long, or no worries, there are several ways of doing that. The first of them, of course, you would be able to go to the official website of the OGC and then get the original standards and do everything on your own from the scratch, and then implement the server, the clients, and then probably you will need kind of a lot of weeks or even months of working. That's one option. You can also use at least the server storage that we already have in place for Nimbus. So you can just use this as a service and then implement your front end. So probably working with HTML and XML, you will be able to get something specific. But if you don't have that much, or it's enough for you, then you can use the Nimbus widget, and that will give you the connection to the Geospatial feedback in more or less less than an hour, with just a few changes in your website. So that's why I'm putting here again the link to the Nimbus in the marketplace in case you want to have a look, or of course you can contact us always. And finally, for you to see how this works in a real environment, this is not solely an example of the marine environment that is what it's usual in Iliad, but it's one that we have in place already. That's for another European project that is called Best Map, and that's a dashboard in which, as you can see, for example, here we have several data sets. This is over Catalonia in this case. And for example, now I'm looking at one of them, that is a land use, land cover data set. So I have this data set in my legend and layer control window, and then I can just ask for the feedback just with a pop-up menu on my, as the usual, working in the Geo portal. That will bring me to this window. That's what you will have if you connect that, and here you will be able to, on one side, creating new feedback if you are willing to comment on this data set or give a publication related to it, etc. Or you can also check the previous comments or the previous user feedback items that someone else has provided for the same data set. That's one general example, as I was saying, but I just make a few screenshots. That's not for real, but I saw one, in this case, another example, as I told you, in the marketplace, that it's this Habitat Suitability Index geoportal that some pilot inside Iliad has developed. So they have here exactly this position. No, they do have several data sets in their geoportal. So if there's interest, we could create easily the connection to the user feedback, to the Nimbus system, for every user being able to create or to see feedback items related to each of the products in this portal. So that's everything from my side, at least until now. Thank you very much. And of course, if anyone has any feedback, please, I would love hearing you.
Thank you very much, Alaitz. I have, of course, some feedback from the question here that we posted while you were speaking. And we were asking, do you use feedback services? And there are some, 1%, no, 7%, that is doing that. Well, I can share the results with you. I didn't share the results. Here they are. The result is so that you see there are some that already use it. Yes, when I am offering data products and services, And yes, not yet, but consider it. That was interesting. 36% of them are considering it. Some are not sure and some are no. So there is definitely somebody who is interested in implementing this user feedback. So I will stop sharing like this. Yes, so now we have launched the marketplace, and you have been introduced to one of the services, an important service if you have something to offer, namely user feedback and geospatial user feedback as well. I found it very interesting to see that you have played with one of the pilots and some of the products in the pilots.